Jeff said I could put this up here, so I'm going to put it up here. Brand marketing awareness. No, I thought, looking at it, the thoughts that I had post game were pretty, spot on in terms of what I thought happened. And then other than that, I think moving on this week. Yesterday we had a really good day of practice on Wednesday. Just got to continue to as you guys know, got to continue to work the details and continue to communicate with each other what we feel like's working, what isn't, and just iron out some of the details there. Today, obviously, just had a great walkthrough, so I feel like all the guys are just feeling really confident, really good about, despite the result on Sunday. I feel like all the guys are, in a really good place. We feel like we have a good football team, and we're ready to go. We'll be ready to go by this upcoming Sunday.
Does it feel like the offense needs to take a jump or fine-tune the details?
Yeah, I think we just need to fine-tune the details. Obviously, it can be better in some spots. I can be a lot better, on third down. Just, being able to find some completions, let the guys be able to run with the football, and just be better in that area.
Only one play action attempt in this game. Why do you think it worked out that way?
I think that's just how it worked out. I don't know. It's, trying to get the run game going and, all those things. We got to convert more on third downs. We got to have, more efficient plays on first and second down and be in a good position to where we can run more plays. I think that's it. And we know that as an offense, and we just got to do our job every single play, execute better. And I feel like we'll be in a position to put our foot on the gas a little bit on first and second down.
Sam, when you say you have to find more completions on third down, what does that mean, and how does the defense also dictate what it is, what your choices are?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's just, kind of like we talked about, in the beginning, just, figuring out the details, understanding kind of what led to some of those incompletions, how I can get on the same page with the guys, which we've already ironed out. We ironed that out on Monday. And we already worked on a ton of stuff yesterday, and we'll continue to work today and tomorrow on just some route concepts and different things that we like. But I think it's all about the details right now, and we're just going to continue to, put our best foot forward in terms of just finding rhythm and being able to, play with rhythm and find those completions when they're there.
I think Jackson had almost like 58% of the targets or whatever. I guess what's the trick to kind of getting more guys involved from a receiving standpoint?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it just happened to be that way. I'm just going through my progressions, going through my reads, and 58% of the time it told me to go to Jacks, and that's just kind of how it worked out. A lot of games are different. Sometimes they're going to do things to, take Jacks, take Coop, take some other guys away from us, and so other guys got to be on their P's and Q's in terms of being able to beat one-on-one coverage, and that's kind of what we're looking at this week, and it's going to be it's going to be a fun challenge for us.
You guys used a lot of quick game in this against 49ers, and I'm curious, when that works, what are the good elements of a quick game? What are the things that make a quick game work?
Yeah, I think continuing to get up on the line of scrimmage and pressing the issue, even if we're not going on the using the quick game and doing those things, being able to make it look like that, because that's the beautiful thing about this system is I feel like everything mirrors. Everything can mirror one another. The run game, the pass game, play action game, it can all kind of go together, and that's kind of what we're continuing to build here, and we're going to continue to harp on that.
When you look at Pittsburgh, their defense gave up a lot of yards last week, but where do you find them to be most opportunistic?
Yeah, looking at this defense, looking at this team, I mean, obviously Coach Tomlin does a great job of getting his guys ready, and we know that coming in. They have a lot of great players on that defense, on the front. The defensive line, obviously, they're great players. Linebackers are really good, and then in the secondary, obviously, they got some great players back there as well. So we're really excited about the challenge, just all the different looks that they can bring, coverages, pressures tied to those coverages. So it's a really fun challenge for us this week, and I'm really looking forward to it.
What did you see out of your guys up front? Obviously, the the game ended on a tough play, but
Yeah.
overall the protection numbers looked really good. What did you see?
Yeah, I thought the pro was awesome all day. Obviously, that last play, I feel like I could have got the ball out a little bit quicker, to be honest with you. We checked that ball down. Who knows what happens? But, I felt like, the protection was great all day, and we'll just continue to grow from that.
When you look at the third down numbers from last week, what stands out to you about those situations? I know there was a few long yardage ones in there too, but kind of what kind of sticks in your mind about the third down chances you had last week?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is being efficient on first and second down, specifically first down. Being able to get those yards, being able to put the defense in a tough position on second down, keep them on their toes a little bit, and we'll go from there.
Yesterday, Leo talked about the period in practice where they do blitz, bluff, and bandit. In what way? I mean, I know that's for them to disguise, right? In what way does that make the offense better?
Yeah, it's incredible. To be able to go up against our defense and see all the different types of looks that, Coach McDonald and the guys, draw up. It's always tough to go against. Very challenging, but it makes it fun. It makes practice a little bit more fun. You see all these looks. We're going up against Pittsburgh, then all of a sudden we're in a period where we're going up against our defense and we're running, the plays that we're running against Pittsburgh, and so it's fun. It's fun to challenge myself and see how I can find completions in those periods, and whether I'm throwing hot or they're bluffing out of there, and it's a fun period for all of us. I'm sure sometimes it doesn't necessarily feel as fun as I'm describing it right now, but it's definitely a great period to learn from and continue to grow our offense from.
Have you noticed in the places you've been that certain scout teams prepare you better for the week than others? And if so, how?
That's a great question. I think, I feel like most scout teams that I've, first of all, I was running a scout team in San Francisco not too long ago, a couple of years ago, and even in Carolina my last year there. But I feel like everybody in the NFL is such a professional, and they take their craft so seriously. And I feel like for the most part, a lot of guys are very tuned into what their defense runs. And if their defense runs a different version of cover 3 than our defense, our scout team guys on defense are going to do a great job of trying to mirror what Pittsburgh does. And I think that's what kind of separates a great scout team, and I feel like a lot of the places that I've been do a great job of doing that.
Do you like splitting out wide right for a player or two there? Sure.
Yeah, that was great. I had I had some fun over there with Demo, with number 2 over there, and I was just making sure he was guarding me because if he turns his back to me again, who knows? In that last game. So no, that'll be a fun one to, I wish I would have been mic'd up for that, to be honest, because that was a fun little interaction there. But Demo's always he's a fun competitor and someone that I like to talk to every now and then.
What did he say back to you?
He just smiled at me, I was more chirping at him, just because that's a fun opportunity for a quarterback to go out there out wide, and I've never done that in a game, and I thought it was a great opportunity just to say something to him. So.
How are your hands?
Hands are great. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen me out in practice or anything, but you guys haven't put together a highlight reel or anything. I'm pretty surprised you haven't, but no, my hands are okay. I feel like quarterbacks love to say that their hands are great, and then they would probably get in a game and, hear footsteps, and, things change a little bit once you get out there, and the, live bolts are actually flying. So when you're out there just messing around, catching a football, you can do all sorts of things. So.
Past years, some people have said, hey, Sam holds on to the ball too long. And then this game, you get rid of the ball really quickly. How do you kind of strike the balance of, when to keep it, let a play develop, and when to get rid of it more quickly?
Yeah, I think it's just situational awareness, and understanding where checkdowns are. I think that's the biggest thing, and pressure as well. If I feel like whether they brought a 4 or 5 man rush, normally a 5-man rush, I'd love to get the ball out, because there's more space on the field. But if it's a 4-man, 3-man rush especially, I understand that I can, if nothing's open right away in my progression, I can maybe, extend the play a little bit. So every situation's a little bit different. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to get the ball out in a timely fashion. But if it calls for a scramble drill, that's what I'm going to do.
I'm
assuming like going out there in a preseason drive is good for putting something on tape. You guys learn how you play together and correct stuff. How much more can you be better at that part with the whole game on tape? And
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think, just to be able to have that tape, to be able to coach, the coaches coach us, us as players, be able to look at ourselves and see how we can get better, how this offense can grow and get better from it. I mean, there's, we've looked at it on Monday, and I feel like we've grown a ton from that, and it's just going to continue to be that, ever-evolving, offense of how we do things, and we're just going to continue to get better this season and grow as an offense.
You're close with Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
Question on behalf of our reporter who covers the Bills. How have you seen Josh evolve in his off-the-field approach over the years, and did you notice anything different, particularly this offseason?
He's playing a little bit more golf nowadays, so no, he's always trying to get better in the off season. He's working out, he's doing his thing. He is playing a lot of golf. Got married, so his life is pretty hectic at times, and so I think the more important thing for him is just to relax and be with his family and friends as much as he can be.
Who wins when you guys play golf?
We won't talk about that. We won't talk about that. Yeah.
I think this is your first start in Pittsburgh. Do you have any things that you do when you're entering a stadium for the first time or getting acclimated to a new place to play?
No, I go out there and I warm up and I do my thing and get ready to play the game. No superstitions or anything for me. So appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.